All right, let's go ahead and get started with this morning or this afternoon's webcast, depending on the time zone you're in. Thank you very much for setting aside time today to discuss Tableau with me. My name is George Peck from the Ablaze Group. We are a Colorado-based business intelligence consultancy here in the middle of the fire zone. So far, so good for us here in Evergreen, but mighty smoky and mighty hot. So hopefully we'll get through a half hour without any other fire emergencies. About a half hour is what I have set aside for you today to discuss a relatively new product for us called Tableau in the overall business intelligence and data discovery phase. A pretty high-end tool and a market-leading tool and very, very fast-growing product. So we're going to spend about a half hour talking about it today. A couple of housekeeping notes. This webcast is being recorded. If you would like to see it again, let us know and we'll point you to the right place. We think this is going to probably be the inaugural offering on the Ablaze Group YouTube channel. So we'll set that up and let you know when you can watch this again. The best way to ask questions is in the chat window at the bottom of your webinar control panel. There's a chat window down there. Go ahead and just type your questions in there as they come to you. At the end of the demonstration, I will go through that chat panel and answer all those questions. So we will save questions for the end, but you are free to ask them anytime you'd like by just typing in that chat window. If there's anything you think of later or I don't catch your question for some reason, just give us a call or shoot us an email and we'll be happy to answer any follow-up questions you have. Let me just talk a tiny bit about the actual founder of the Tableau product, Tableau software itself. This is a company out of Seattle, Washington, and this is a rapid-fire business intelligence product. This is very, very quick decision-making software, quick visual analytics, founded in 2004, a very, very fast-growing BI company, consistently quarter after quarter growth, very, very excited customer base. You see a few of the sample customers over on the right side of the screen. Some of the questions we ask when we start to use Tableau are, let's discuss some of the current visualization and graphical elements that you're doing now and some of the tool sets you're using to do this. Tableau is a graphical tool, a visualization tool. That is its purpose. And when we think about some data visualization you're doing now, how long does it take you to do some of these visualizations? Certain types of charts, certain types of interactive analyses using graphics. That is where this product shines. Think about how you might be doing that now and how much time that takes you. How many people does it take to do it? How many people does it take to gather the data, to massage the data, to properly import the data into potential data warehouse where that data is now available for you to do analysis and visualization on? Who does that work? Is it a group of folks in the IT department that require a long lead time? Who does that type of work? Can you do it simpler? How can you quickly discover things and find things you didn't know about before? How can you easily handle really complex data and let the data speak to you and answer your questions? And how can you create a very powerful visualization and really tell a story with your data? These are some of the questions that we're going to ask and answer today when we take a look at the Tableau product. It's right where it fits. There are three main products we're going to talk about just quickly here. Two of them we're going to talk about in more detail today and actually demonstrate to you. Tableau Desktop is where we're going to spend the vast majority of our time today. This is the desktop design and analysis tool. It's a Windows app, although I happen to be running on an iMac today under a Parallels virtual machine. So today's demonstration will be proof positive that Tableau will run both on Windows and Apple hardware. But the Tableau Desktop product is the actual design and analysis product that is going to go on the Windows desktops of those who need to design and analyze interactively with data connections. You can explore, visualize, analyze that data, answer lots of questions. It is an amazingly fast product, both at connecting to your data and also answering your questions. You will see that here in a few minutes. A tool for creating great dashboards to consolidate your views. We will do that today and then share some interactive data experiences. We'll talk a little bit about that. When we get finished designing our dashboard today, we're going to publish it to something called Tableau Server. Tableau Server is a more enterprise web-based tool for taking your Tableau visualizations and placing them on the web so that anybody using a web browser anywhere can view and interact with your visualizations. It is just as fast to interact with a visualization on Tableau Server as it is on Tableau Desktop. The Server product includes a very, very rich security and metadata management system, both its standalone security system and an integratable Active Directory security system. It's a terrific tool for getting those Tableau visualizations shared to the world. Tableau Digital is a form of Tableau Server that's hosted. It allows you to post certain types of visualizations to the public via a Tableau hosted web server. We won't be talking a whole lot about that today. We're going to be concentrating mostly on Tableau Desktop and Tableau Server. Tableau Desktop, Tableau Server, a little more honing in on these. These are the primary products we'll discuss here. All kinds of data connectivity. You can see some samples here, everything from Microsoft Excel, which we'll be doing some samples with today. I'll be doing a SQL Server connection today and doing a little bit of analysis on a SQL Server database. Then we have a little thing called the Tableau Data Extract, which is Tableau's own compressed data structure that allows you to take very, very large amounts of data that may reside in another data source and compress them into a pseudo in-memory model and get you very, very fast analytics with very, very large data sets. We'll be showing you those three today among some that you see here on this screen. So let's talk about, again, Tableau and kind of where it comes from and where it's positioned in the overall business intelligence and data discovery market. It is a visualization tool. You are seeing some sample screenshots and thumbnails throughout this presentation of bar charts, scatter charts, maps, area charts, line charts. It is a visualization tool. It is provided to you and to your audience for visualizing data in myriad ways. It can be used personally on a desktop. That's what the Tableau Desktop tool will be doing, and we'll be showing you that today. If you have a user who wants to be able to design and analyze their own visualizations interactively, you need a copy of Tableau Desktop for them on the desktop. This allows to also create visualizations and dashboards to be placed on the web via Tableau Server. A Tableau Server audience is someone who is not going to be actually designing visualizations themselves, but are going to be viewing and interacting with visualizations that somebody else has designed with Tableau Desktop. Tableau Desktop, the design tool, once a dashboard is finished in Tableau Desktop, it can be published to Tableau Server, where then it may be viewed and interacted with in the web. Tableau Server can also be embedded in other web portals, for example, SharePoint or other custom web applications via URLs. And then Tableau Public and Tableau Digital that I just referred to for a few minutes in the past are public hosted sites from Tableau software that allow limited publication of your workbooks and your dashboards to the public via the web. Let's just get right down to a live demo and see the power of Tableau, see the speed of Tableau, and the economy of Tableau. So I'm going to come over to my Windows desktop, and again, this is actually running on a Mac under the Parallels virtual machine, and I have Tableau Desktop running. This is Tableau Professional. I'm going to begin by connecting to a data source. I have a connected data item right here that I'm going to click, and I see right away all the different types of data that Tableau can connect to. We have some desktop data sources up here, such as Excel and Access, and then all of our server-based data sources down here. Many of these should look familiar to you. I'm going to start with a SQL Server database and connect to that. And to set up this little discussion and demo here, I will kind of go back to my roots in IT. I won't give the date because I don't want to date myself that much, but I was a radio disc jockey, I guess, for a number of years. That was my first profession. And I walked into a radio station and was confronted with, or discovered, depending on your point of view, a green bar program log where I had seen handwritten, hand-scratched program logs before. And that was kind of the beginning of my divestiture out of the radio business into the IT business. But radio is still one of my first loves. So I still volunteer for a public jazz station here in the Denver area. And one of the things I've done as a volunteer for them is design various IT systems, one of them being a barcode scanner application that allows the on-air host to scan the UPC code on the back of a CD before he plays it on the air, and then take the track that he chooses from a Windows user interface and publish that track to our online playlist. So it's a very quick way for our hosts to publish their playlists. Every time they scan a CD and add a song to the online playlist, it writes a record to a SQL Server database. So I want to do a little bit of analysis here on the artists that we play most frequently on our jazz radio station. So I'm going to type in my local SQL Server here, log in with some SQL Server credentials, and connect. And then on the SQL Server is a database called Played Tracks. This is the database coming from the barcode scanner application. Click OK. One of the first choices I have is whether I want to connect to this database live and actually do live interactivity with it. Or right away, I have an option to import some or all of the data from this database into, again, the Tableau data source that I mentioned a little bit earlier, or the Tableau data extract, which is the Tableau proprietary database that's a very highly compacted pseudo in-memory database. We're going to connect live. You'll see a little bit of latency as I do some interactivity here, which will give you kind of a real-world scenario of how you connect and interact with a live database. If things get too slow, we always have the option to come back and import. But for now, we'll go ahead and connect live. Now, I'm not going to teach you all of the intricacies of Tableau today, but here you see an initial Tableau screen with what we call dimensions and measures on the left. These are the fields coming from this database. And the very first thing I want to take a look at here is simply the number of tracks that we are playing on this radio station. So I'm just going to simply double-click a number of records measure and immediately get a quick bar chart that simply shows me the total number of records in this database, or the total number of songs we have played since we started collecting data in this database. And if I hover my mouse over that bar, I see 11,656 numbers. So right away, I see a little bit of interactivity, the ability to hover over a mark and see the number that mark represents. We turned this database on probably in January of this year. We had another database server at the radio station that literally smoke came out of it, not figuratively, but literally. So we set up a new server in January, and that's all we've been collecting data for so far. So for about the first 6 or 7 months, we've gotten a little less than 12,000 songs played. Now I want to go a little bit farther now and actually break this down by artist. I'm going to simply come to my dimensions box here and double-click on artist. And that is now going to show me a bar chart. And I want to switch the orientation of the bar chart so it's a horizontal bar chart rather than a vertical bar chart. I'm going to literally come up to my toolbar and click a swap button, which now converts the vertical bar chart to a horizontal bar chart. It's showing our artists in alphabetical order. So I have a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 5 and then to my A's. But what I really want to see here is who is our most popular artist. Who do we play the most? So I'm going to come to my number of records axis here, hover my mouse, and get a little quick sort button that I click that literally that quickly resorts my visualization in high to low order by number of tracks played by artist. And we right away see that the number one artist played on this radio station is various artists, which means we have a lot of compilation CDs that we actually click and add to our playlist. That doesn't do me a lot of good. I'm going to click on that various artists entry up here. From a little pop-up, do something called an exclude, which immediately adds a filter to my visualization here to eliminate that various artists value. So now I'm seeing beyond various artists, our number one artist on the jazz station is Miles Davis, that great trumpet player that we've probably all heard of. Steve Turre, great trombonist, is number 2. Eric Reed, pianist. Wes Montgomery, vintage guitarist, is number 4. Esperanza Spalding, you might have seen her singing at the Oscars this year, number 5. Etta James, Tito Puente, you get the idea. So right away, with just a few clicks, I have narrowed down to some very interesting data and discovered who our most popular artists are. Now I want to take this a step further and actually analyze this by day of week. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a play date time dimension here. And I'm going to go ahead and right-click drag it onto the columns shelf in front of my number of records. And we're going to go by weekday and click OK. And now we actually break down with just that one right-click drag our play by day of week. And we can see that Miles Davis appears to be very popular on Thursday, fairly popular on Friday, not bad on Saturday, pretty good on Monday, but really, really narrow on Sunday. Now, when I look at Sunday, I see Tito Puente is very, very high up there. And actually, what I think I want to do is narrow this down to Sunday, do a little bit of analysis on Sunday, and see what's going on about Sunday, because it seems to be very different than the rest of the days of the week. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the Sunday entry here, and then Keep Only, which actually does another filter based on the weekday. And I can now see just on Sunday my most popular artists. Viento de los Andes is number 1, Tito Puente 2, Stan Getz, Mahalia Jackson, Jose Alberto. I see a very different kind of set of genres here. Aha! Well, Sunday is our specialty day. We do a great deal of Latin-oriented program on Sunday. Our most popular program, Canción Mexicana, is on Sunday morning. We see a Brazilian show in the evening. We see salsa con jazz in the afternoon. We have the gospel train earlier in the morning, and we see lots of artists that figure into those genres. So we can now get a better idea of who we're playing on Sunday, which is that specialty show day. Now I want to undo that. I've got multiple levels of undo here. I'm going to go right up to my toolbar and back arrow to go back to all days of the week. Saturday's a special day for me personally. I'm going to double click that. And I actually want to talk a little bit about Saturday now. And I can see Etta James is our most popular artist on Saturday, Oscar Peterson. And I get down here about to the 5th or 6th and I see Lou Donaldson. Now, Lou Donaldson is a sax player, and there's one song of his that may be a little bit significant to our Saturday statistics here. So I want to check out not only the artist, but the actual title of the song that the artist was performing, and we want to do a little analysis on that. I'm going to do that with something called a set. Come over here and control-click on artist and track name, and right-click and create a set that I'm going to name artist track. Click OK. That now is going to combine the artist and track name together in a single value down here that I'm going to simply drag on top of artist to replace. I'm going to again sort in descending order. And look at the number 1 song on Saturday by Lou Donaldson. Well, there it is. That's the theme of my Saturday morning show, and that gets number 1 play overall for Saturday. So we've done a whole lot of very, very quick, fascinating visual analysis here in a very short amount of time. That's what Tableau is about. Now I want to show you another type of analysis here called a motion chart. I'm going to name this sheet, by the way. We see an overall kind of Excel paradigm here of a workbook that I'm currently working with. That workbook can contain multiple worksheets. We'll call this worksheet Music Analysis. And now I want to create a new worksheet, and I actually want to connect to a different data source and do some other analysis from a geographic perspective here. I'm going to go back to my Connect Data icon up here in the toolbar, which takes me back to my Connect to the Data dialog box. I'm going to use something called the Tableau Data Extract. That, again, is the proprietary Tableau database that's very highly compressed and loads either fully or partially into memory. And I have a hurricane data source that I've saved here as a Tableau Data Extract. I'm going to open that. And I'm going to do a little bit of analysis on hurricanes. We're starting to hear a little bit about Tropical Storm Debbie dumping a lot of rain on the southeast, and it's getting to be that most wonderful time of year. So let's do a little bit of analysis on some hurricanes here. What I'm going to do is actually select a latitude and longitude measure here. Control-click on those. And now I'm going to go to the Show Me box over here. Show Me is a little drop down that gives me some predefined visualization types that I merely click to begin working with. And I'm going to click on a map visualization right here and immediately see a point. It looks like it's somewhere in the ocean. I'm now going to do something called disaggregate the data, where I'm actually going to be plotting a point for each and every record in that data source. The analysis menu, aggregate measures, is going to be turned off. And all of a sudden now I start to see some things making some sense. I see an overall map image behind a whole lot of plots showing individual points where hurricanes have been during various years. We want to narrow this down to just 2005. I'm going to go ahead and add the date field to a filter, pick a year filter, and then we're going to just pick 2005 as the year we want to analyze. And now I see a much smaller set of individual plot points on this map of where hurricanes tracked during 2005. Now we want to make this visualization a lot more useful by coloring these points to based on certain things, size these points based on certain things, and then even go a step further and actually animate the 2005 hurricane season and see how hurricanes tracked in motion throughout the year. So we're going to first of all size the hurricane points based on wind speed. We're going to color the hurricane points based on the category of the storm. We're going to label the hurricane points based on the name of the storm. And you can see these changes taking effect here in the visualization. So we can see lots of blue category 0s, but now we see some orange category 1, some green category 2, some red category 3 as the storms increased in intensity. The size isn't quite so obvious. I'm going to slide this size slider a little bit to the right, and now we see more delineation in size as wind speeds have increased. We're going to take this one step further and literally create something called a motion chart where we animate through a period of time the visualization. I'm going to grab my date dimension again and drop it on a shelf called Pages. I'm now going to change from a year level to the exact date. And literally now I am beginning with the very first storm, Arlene, on June 8th, 2005 at 6 a.m. I'm going to go a little bit quicker through this and set a fast animation speed and now actually show some history. We're actually going to show all our marks as they progress through time. I'm now going to play the history of the 2005 hurricane season. And I think GoToWebinar or GoToMeeting is going to show this animation fairly well. We can now see the hurricane season progressing. Hurricane Emily, Hurricane Franklin, Hurricane Gert. We can see the paths they take. We can see as the wind speeds change based on the size of the mark. We can see as the categories change based on the color of the mark. We now have what we call a motion chart where we literally can tell a story with animated visualization using Tableau. We also see the very powerful mapping and geographic capabilities of Tableau with this visualization. This is a great, great example of how a story can be told with just a few minutes of time and a few clicks using Tableau Desktop. Very, very, very powerful. I'm going to close this worksheet up, actually this workbook up. We're going to do a brand new workbook. I'm going to connect to data, and now we're going to do a dashboard based on 3 different quick and simple visualizations. I'm going to start by connecting to some Excel data. Inside this Excel sheet are Excel workbook are 3 sheets or tables. We're going to just choose the orders sheet and orders table and use that and connect live. And for my very first worksheet here, I'm going to do a little bit of sales analysis by product category and region. I'm going to start by just double-clicking a sales number here, and let's see what we get. Again, a quick double-click gives me a vertical bar chart with one single point, simply analyzing total sales for all time. And if I point to that bar, I can see that total sales overall is a little under $15 million. I don't really have this broken down by anything, but that's one quick way of getting a total sales number. Let's go ahead and break this down a little bit. First of all, by product category, and within product category by region. And again, quick double clicks have now created a vertical bar chart, first breaking things down by product category, furniture, office supplies, technology, within those product categories by region, central, east, south, and west. So I can now compare 2 values for sales with a simple matter of 3 clicks. This is extremely quick and very, very versatile. Now I also want to analyze profit. We see sales numbers being compared here, but I want to know how much money we're making, how much profit we're making by region and product category. I'm going to simply grab my profit measure and drag that onto a color shelf here, and literally that quickly we can see dark green being very profitable regions and product categories, and the reds getting into unprofitable areas. So right away, furniture in the east looks like it's an issue. Hover my mouse over that mark. I can see that east furniture made some decent sales. We sold, $1.4 million in product there, but lost a little over $5,000. So we actually lost money in the east with furniture. Central technology, looks like we made a lot of profit there and a lot of sales. $286,000 in profit on just under $2 million in sales. So again, very quickly, we can start to analyze and hone in on data and tell some stories and answer some questions very, very quickly. We're going to go ahead and name this worksheet Category Region Profit Analysis, and then do a new worksheet. Once again, if I just double-click sales, there is that vertical bar chart showing me overall sales. But we actually want to do this by time now. I'm going to grab my order date and right-click, drag that to my column shelf. And I literally want to now look at sales by month and year. And I now see quickly with that right-click drag a visual best practice of seeing sales over time, best shown via a line chart as opposed to a bar chart. So I'm now seeing over all of our period of time, all the way from January 2009 to June 2012, our sales trends. I'm going to color this by product category again, just double-click on product category. And I now see individual lines, again, for those three product categories, furniture, office supplies, and technology over that time frame. Now, what I want to be able to do, though, is narrow it down a little bit to just a certain year. I don't want to see time for all of our orders over all years. I want to narrow this down for a certain year. So I'm going to do something called a quick filter. Right-click on my order date field here again and show quick filter, which literally displays a filter dialog over here that initially shows an all checkbox or our different years. I'm going to change this filter. I'm going to drag it out of the way here, or drag my little webcast icon down. There we go. I'm going to click a little drop-down arrow on that quick filter and change that to be a slider. And so literally now I have a slider that interacts with my visualization. Slide to all years, or 2009, 2010, 2011, or 2012. So I now have interactivity with just a few clicks to allow my viewer to analyze data for all years or individual years. All they need to do is slide or arrow left or right, and the visualization changes to reflect that filter that quickly. Let's call this sheet Monthly Sales Trend by Category, and do one more worksheet. This is going to be a worksheet that does a little bit more geographic work like we saw before with the hurricane analysis. What I want to do here is start with a few dimensions or measures, a few fields that I want to make some use of, and then we'll make use of this Show Me option again. So I'm going to go ahead and Control-click on State, Product Category, and Sales. And then again, the Show Me dialog, expand that, and I want to do a geographic map based on those three fields. So I'm going to click Show Me. And literally that quickly, Tableau does a geographic analysis, places a mark on each state where we've done sales, sizes the mark based on our sales, creates a mark consisting of a pie chart breaking down sales in each state by product category, consisting of furniture, office supplies, and technology. That quickly, I can create a very, very useful and beneficial geographic visualization. I'm going to resize these marks, make them a little bit bigger so I have a little bit more delineation between very small sales and very large sales. But this is how quickly we can do a very useful geographic visualization in Tableau. I'm going to go ahead and name this sheet Geographical Sales Analysis. And that quickly, we've done three different worksheets: geography, trend over time, and then two trends showing profitability and sales. All right, I'm going to go ahead now and create a new dashboard. I'm going to right-click on this tab, and rather than doing a new worksheet, I'm going to do a new dashboard. We're going to call this dashboard Sales Analysis Dashboard. We're going to put it all together in one place here. We've done three separate worksheets that we now want to bring together in a combined dashboard to allow some very, very fast and detailed analysis in one screen. I'm going to begin by simply dragging my geographic sales analysis onto the dashboard, and that map initially fills the entire dashboard. But we want to add these other two worksheets below that map. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my geographic region profit analysis and drop it below the map. And then I'm going to drop my monthly sales trend by category on the right side below the map. And literally by that quick drag and drop, I have now created a dashboard, the map across the top, the category region profit analysis on the lower left, and the monthly sales trend by category on the right. I actually see all of the legends have come across. Some of these legends I want to have go away. This sales size legend, I'm going to close that and make that go away. That profit color legend is going to go away. I will leave my product category color legend here. Notice that my quick filter is here, and again, that interactivity of sliding different years is affecting just my order date monthly sales trend down here. It's not affecting my map or my category region profit analysis. I actually want all of these visualizations in the worksheet, in the dashboard, to be controlled by this single filter. It's a simple matter of one drop-down menu option and making this filter global. And now literally every visualization, the geographic sales analysis, the category region profit analysis, and the monthly trend are all changed whenever this filter changes. This is how quick that we can design visualizations and dashboards in Tableau. This has all been done in about 15 minutes. Finally, we're going to publish this to Tableau Server and let the world access it via the web. The server menu, I'm going to choose from there, Publish Workbook. We're going to log on to our Tableau server. Let's go ahead and put the right port in. I'm going to go ahead and just call this Sales Analysis Dashboard on the server. All I'm going to publish is the dashboard itself, not the individual worksheets. We want the user just to see the total dashboard, and literally click Publish. And that quickly, this dashboard will now be published to Tableau Server. We see a preview of it here, and I'm actually going to go ahead and open this in the browser window right here from this dialog box, which is going to launch Explorer, Windows Explorer, Internet Explorer, and literally I've logged into Tableau Server. This is on the web. Click the Sales Analysis Dashboard from Tableau Server. Here is my analysis entirely embedded in a web page. Here is my quick filter. There's sales by 2011. Here's sales in 2010. All of this interactivity that I've seen, there's technology, here's office supplies, here's furniture. We see all the interactivity. We see all of the visualization right here on the web for the entire world to make use of. So we've seen Tableau Desktop. We've seen how quickly we can create visualizations and meaningful analysis and tell stories on the web with Tableau Server. That is the demo. I'm going to go back to my slides. We'll talk real quickly about what the Ablaze Group does with these great products. They're relatively new products for the Ablaze Group, and we are extremely excited about them. We've picked them up very quickly and are running with them full speed. We are your source for both Tableau Desktop and Tableau Server purchases, consultation such as visualization design, some data manipulation, installing and configuring Tableau Server. We also are a Tableau training partner. I've already been doing some open enrollment courses around the country. Did one in Salt Lake City a couple of weeks ago, one in Vancouver. We did one here in Denver. We will be happy to discuss on-site courses with you if you have a number of folks you'd like to have trained, online courses such as this, and custom training. So the Ablaze Group is your go-to organization for Tableau from every perspective, selling the software, consultation, and training. 800-773-3472. The website, ablazegroup.com. You may just email us at info@ablazegroup.com. What I want to do now is come back and see if I have any questions and get those answered. We'll get you on your way. So I'm going to bring back the control panel for the webcast here, and let's see if we have any chat questions. If you have any questions, pop them down in the chat window. I don't see any at the moment. Oh, here we go. Questions. All right, so someone is having trouble hearing. I hope that got fixed. Some sound issues, it sounds like. All right, one question is, how does Tableau compare to ClickView? Well, there's a whole lot of questions that we could answer on that. I think my quick answer is that Tableau appears to me to be a lot quicker than ClickView. We could discuss a little bit more in terms of some more intimate, and intricate details of the differences. That's a long answered question. Obviously, if we still were big View fans, we'd still be working with it. We no longer do. We are now Tableau partners. We think it is a far superior product. All right. A question about connecting to an SAP database. At this point, with Tableau 7, there is no direct SAP connectivity. You would need to take some SAP data and export it to another database and then do some connectivity to the exported database. The question is, can we publish these to Business Objects Enterprise? Not directly. One of the things we're going to do as a proof of concept very, very quickly is literally embed a Tableau visualization inside a Business Objects Enterprise web piece and the other way around, integrate those two together. There's no direct or automatic integration between those two. Apparently somebody else was on the audio at the same time. Somebody didn't mute. We were supposed to have everybody muted. That was a problem with the webcast today. Here's a question on what type of licensing is involved in Server. There are two types of Tableau Server licenses available. There is named user licensing, a per person or per user licensing scenario. The second type of licensing is literally processor core licensing. So user licensing is per user. Core licensing is as many users as possible, but you pay per processor core. Tableau Server is distributable across multiple processors, so it's simply a matter of where you need the horsepower, how much horsepower you need, and if you're better off using named user licensing or core licensing. At what level is security controlled? In terms of Tableau Server, that's where security, if I understand the question properly, in Tableau Server, control is based on user ID. I logged into Tableau Server as the administrator. I have a certain set of rights. There are other rights that can be assigned by user. We even have a capability of doing something called a user filter. We might do a demonstration on that in another webcast where we have a single visualization posted on Tableau Server, but different users see different subsets of data. For example, if I was a West region user, I would only see the Western region bars in that category profit analysis bar chart. So a lot of security control and granularity at the user ID level on Tableau Server, if I got that question correct. Can you change the color design? I'm not quite sure I understand that question, but in essence, there are default colors that we see here that generally follow visual best practices, but every color and every formatting element can be changed if desired. So yes, the color can be changed. Does Tableau integrate with any other BI packages, such as Microsoft and Business Objects? We already addressed Business Objects. We discussed a quick option to integrate a Tableau Server web part with Microsoft SharePoint, so there are options there. How do you publish data to the web without Tableau Server? Some options are to take individual visualizations or workbooks, export them as images, or export the entire workbook as a PDF. So that capability does exist in Tableau Desktop. However, the interactivity goes away. There are no quick filters. There are no highlighting options. So if you want interactivity, you do need to have Tableau Server in place. If you can go with static visualizations, you may export various parts of visualizations as individual images or as PDFs. Can the map go to country level? The map can go literally down to individual city and zip code level. A whole nother area of incredible Tableau flexibility is geographic mapping. We do in our advanced course a 2 or 3 hour session alone on advanced mapping and custom maps and background maps and automatic and custom geocoding. It is completely flexible, not only down to the country level, but to the state, city, zip code, and even area code level. Let's see. Will Tableau publish a predefined developed report like Crystal Reports? Well, that's in essence kind of what we just did. We created this dashboard and published it to Tableau Server, and now it exists as a pre-published, developed dashboard. Anything that I could do in Tableau can be done and published to Tableau Server. So I might have a crosstab type of visualization that looks more like standard text, and that can also be published to Tableau Server. So I think the answer is yes. Let's see. What are the scenarios, analysis capabilities of Tableau? So we already, to a certain extent, saw the ability to simply create that slider by year. And so now we're doing a little bit of analysis by year. It's a matter of then doing a little bit of custom calculating or custom data work to look at some projections down the road. So we might, for example, create a parameter, I haven't shown that here, that would prompt for a projected sales increase. and literally permit a user to type in a 10%, 15%, 20% increase, and then literally see those numbers show up on the visualization. So there are some pretty broad what-if capabilities by parameterizing and creating calculations that might add certain percentages onto numbers and see things how things might progress with increases or decreases in certain numbers. Next question. All right, this is a pretty long question about overall experience in BI and total cost of ownership, implementation time, and admin resources of Tableau and how it compares to other tools. The one thing I'll tell you right off is that Tableau is much faster to implement and much quicker to get into production than other tools. We are also business objects partners. We can get Tableau running so much faster. So that I can tell you, in a real quick answer. In terms of more details, in terms of total ROI, that is a little bit more involved question. We probably ought to take that one offline and talk about your individual scenario and what your number of users are and your requirements are. All right. Is this going directly against the data, or is there some type of universe that is used? We got lots of business objects folks on this call today. So far, all three of these scenarios I used against that database that had the CD data in it, against the Excel worksheet that had the sales data by profit and category and date, those were all direct data sources and direct databases. Now, that Tableau data extract that I did the hurricane analysis with, that to a certain extent was predefined, pre-metadated data. There is a great capability in here of customizing your view of the data. We didn't cover that today. That would be one we might cover in another online session down the road. But you can create very customized views of your data, rename fields, remove fields you don't want, create calculated fields, create sets like you saw me do where I combined artist and title, and then save that customized view of the data so that you may use it in future analyses or publish it to Tableau Server so other folks who are using Tableau Server can also connect to it. So we were going directly against the data for all of these, but there's a great metadata capability in here if we're using it or we need to use it. Can security be defined on the group level instead of user ID? Yes. In Tableau Server, there are groups as well, so we create individual user IDs. We also create groups of users and can, in fact, assign security at the group level, so the answer is yes. Is there statistical capabilities such as standard deviations and control charts? And the answer is yes. The statistical capabilities we largely see in either trend lines. Sometimes we see statistical options in reference lines. We also see all the statistical capabilities in the custom calculated formula language that you can create and then use your own statistical calculations as additional measures if you would like. So the answer to that is yes. Can we use our own GIS layer to geocode, such as parcel layer and address location layer? And the answer is yes. There is built-in geocoding in Tableau at certain levels. So you noticed in the example when I was doing the sales by state that state had a little geocode globe on it. You might not have noticed that, but it was there. In that there's some automatic geocoding that Tableau does out of the box. However, you have complete control over custom geocoding. The entire geocoding capability of Tableau is simply based on latitude and longitude. And if you have a separate data source, it can be a CSV file, an Excel spreadsheet, and you simply map your particular geographic fields to a latitude and longitude. You may then import those into Tableau, and it will now recognize your custom geocoding. So yes, the answer is you may do that. How does Tableau compare to ClickView? Answered that one already. Can you schedule data refreshers through the server? And the answer is yes. So, for example, we have a scenario where we may extract a very large amount of data into a Tableau extract for performance purposes to make use of this pseudo in-memory data source that Tableau supports. But now we have an old data source. It was imported from a live database, and now the live database is running away and is not the same as the extract. We will publish the extract to Tableau Server and schedule a refresh on Tableau Server at some regular interval, daily, weekly, every 2 days, every 6 hours. So Tableau Server now will refresh the Tableau data extract on a schedule. The visualizations will use the Tableau data extract for incredible performance, and you have the best of both worlds. So the answer is yes, you can do that. We process reports with millions of records. How does it handle large volume and speed? It depends on your database. In cases of slow databases, maybe non-indexed databases, non-optimized databases, you will very probably see some very, very poor performance with Tableau. It's not Tableau's poor performance, it's the database's poor performance. So there are two choices. Clean up the database and make the database run faster. If push comes to shove, extract that database to the Tableau data extract. Tableau data extracts can handle millions and millions and millions of records in lightning fast speeds. Again, that's something we'll probably demonstrate down the road, so you've got options there. Can it be scheduled to refresh automatically? Answered already. The answer is yes. Dimensional reporting. So the question is, can it be used for dimensional reporting similar to web intelligence? Kind of. Web intelligence is very much a crosstab type of tool, rows and columns and numbers in the middle. Tableau will do that. I didn't show you a crosstab, but it can create crosstabs very quickly, so I guess kind of would be the answer. Where do we buy Tableau? Can we get an evaluation copy? Well, I gave you our phone number, 800-773-3472, info@ablazegroup.com. There are trial versions available. Email or call us if you'd like to get those. Can it link separate data sources is the last question, and the answer is yes, any number of ways. In a single workbook, an individual sheet can belong to different data sources. So in a single workbook, I could have a sheet based on that SQL Server database with CD data, another worksheet based on that Tableau data extract for hurricane data, and the third, fourth, and fifth sheets coming from that Excel spreadsheet for my sales by category and region analysis. I can put all of those on a dashboard and actually have 3 different data sources and 5 different sheets on a dashboard. I can go further and use something called Tableau data blending, where on a single worksheet, I'm actually using multiple separate databases, provided they simply have a common field among them. So there's a lot of flexibility there in terms of multiple data sources within separate worksheets that are kept on a dashboard, or actually even individual worksheets using data blending. So the answer is yes. Let's see if we have any other questions. That, I believe, takes care of all the questions. We're a little beyond our 30 minutes, but we wanted to get all the questions answered. If you have any other questions on this tool, again, 800-773-3472, info@ablazegroup.com. We'd be happy to talk to you about the tool, set up another demo for you, perhaps do some work with your own data, depending on what your needs are. We are extremely excited to be working with this tool. We are sure you're extremely excited to see all of its capabilities and how quickly you can put them into place. And so we look forward to working with you to implement Tableau in your organization soon. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you soon here on another webcast. Have a very pleasant day.